Hello and welcome to the OMG show with your host, Oscar Garcia. Today, it's going to be a little interesting. And the reason why is because it's very different. Rather than having a question, this morning I actually managed to get up early in the morning around 4:30 and actually go for a walk, something that I used to do pretty much every day, but haven't done in well over a year. And this morning, this thought came to me of, you know, don't let life or don't stop living your life because of I don't know. And this applies to not just your life, but also in business. So I want to spend some time today on this episode talking a little bit about that and going deeper into what that actually means. So let me kind of give you some context. And I wrote about this in my email this morning, but I want to go deeper into this. So the past couple of weeks, there's a lot of things that have been going on in the online marketing world. Facebook released updates here and there that have been throwing the numbers out of whack, launching ads, turning off ads, things like that have been really making it hard to determine which Facebook ad campaigns have been working and which ones haven't. Funnels that were converting before are no longer converting. Checkout pages are broken. It's kind of like there's something going on in the internet. That's the only way that I could explain it. And it really put me in a position where I was asking myself, wow, I really don't know what's going on here. And this was not just occurring in my businesses, but it was also occurring in my, coaching clients and their businesses as well. So it was kind of just one of those weird times where everything just isn't working the way it's supposed to. Now, this can indicate many different things, but regardless, the one thing that can pretty much stay consistent between all those different scenarios is how you react to that. Okay. Now, this whole concept of, I don't know, it's kind of like, for some people, it's a clutch, right? Like many times when we look at all these different problems in our business, we might say, I don't know, and that's it, right? Now, some of us, the natural entrepreneurs, go ahead and start trying to figure out how to solve that problem, okay? And we try to figure out, okay, well, how about if I change this? And what if I create this? And how about I change the offer? And how about we A/B split test this? And so on and so forth. There's so many different ways that we can kind of overcome that obstacle. But for many people out there, they get stuck on the I don't know. And that's kind of really where I want to focus on, is those individuals where they're being stuck in the I don't know stage. Now, as far as I know, right, life and both in business, it comes in peaks and valleys, right? It's like a roller coaster. It goes up and it goes down, it goes up and it goes down. Now, every time that, we're at the top of the roller coaster, it's like, wow, it feels pretty scary if you're in my shoes, but some people have a great time. And it's a great feeling when you go all the way down and you come all the way back up, right? Well, again, peaks and valleys. So there's moments when we're at our peaks and everything is operating at 100%. We feel like we're in flow. Money's coming in. Customers are happy. Family's happy. Personal life is good. Everything's kind of working out. And then all of a sudden, it's like one thing happens, then another, and all of a sudden, we're going downhill, right? And we're going downhill to a point where we feel like we've hit rock bottom, right? And as cliche as it can sound, right, whenever you hit rock bottom, the only way you can really look is up, right? Sure, you can still look down at the ground, but really looking up is kind of the only type of solution you have there, okay? So in the same sense with business, right, regardless of what's going on in the business, right, whether it's your customers aren't happy, your ads are not working, you just can't get out of bed to do the hard work, et cetera, right? There's some type of funk that's affecting your business, that's keeping you there at the bottom of that pit. And so what you don't want to do is make that pit even worse. And to make things worse, the one thing you don't want to do is ignore it. Okay, you don't want to ignore it, because what ends up happening is that in your mind, you have this perception of what your business is, where you want it to go, who you are, who you want to be. You have that perception. But when you face yourself in reality and you start realizing that, you're not this person, and you start feeling bad about that, you start feeling guilty, the gap between who you are and where you want to be begins to widen. And the more you focus on that bad aspect of, oh, I'm not who I'm supposed to be, things aren't happening the way they're supposed to happen, et cetera, the more and more that gap increases, the more pain increases as well. So you kind of just want to take a step back, and rather than making matters worse, just take a deep breath and come up with the game plan to get out of your situation, because that's ultimately what it is. One of the best books I've read that was recommended to me by my mentor is The Power of Now. It's a bestseller. I'm sure millions of people have read it. You might have picked it up a couple times, but in there, there's a chapter where he talks about, again, not accepting the circumstances is what increases your pain, right? So if you're looking at your Facebook ads, your funnels, your checkout pages, and you're saying, okay, you know what? That's the reality of the situation. It's not working. Okay, that becomes a situation. Now you can go into the entrepreneurship mode and start problem solving and figuring out, okay, how can we get this to work? Right? Now, that I don't know phrase, you have to think of that as an opportunity. The moment you say, I don't know, right? You could be at a valley in your business, in your life, who knows? But the moment you say, I don't know, that's an opportunity for you to say, you know what? But I'm going to figure out because I'm going to figure it out because everything, in my opinion, is figure outable. Okay. I'm pretty sure you're going to come across a circumstance that isn't unique to you. You're not going to be the first one, right? You're not the pathfinder. Okay. More than likely, it's been faced by someone else in a different part of the world that you can more than likely learn from, especially now with the internet, right? So it's not like you're out there all alone. In fact, no, you have plenty of resources, plenty of people to connect to and reach out to in order to solve your problem. So you may not know specifically how to solve whatever situation is going on. However, there's someone out there who's gone through that and probably even worse situations who can provide you with that wisdom in order to take you back up to your peak. Okay. Now, the great thing about valleys and being in valleys and understanding that I don't know situations are really opportunities is the emotional effect that comes after the fact once you overcome that hurdle, right? It's kind of like when you're trying to lose weight or when you conquer a big obstacle, you feel great. You feel so happy because you overcame the challenge, right? So we have our peaks and then we have those moments where we just feel like we're at rock bottom, but then we rise and we rise and we climb and we grind and that climb is harder and harder and harder, but then we reach the peak again. And once we're at that peak, we understand the entire journey that it's taken us to get there. And it feels 1,000% better than the last peak we were on, right? So that's it. That's today's episode on, pretty much, appreciating the I don't know situations, right? Because I don't knows, it's kind of like a way to hit the restart button in a way, right? Because if you're trying to improve your business and trying to improve your life and you say, well, I don't know, okay, that's an opportunity for you to figure it out. And the more education, the more you educate yourself, the better you're going to be able to create a system that's more streamlined, that's more efficient. So you're going to be able to trim out the fat, streamline it a little bit. So you're kind of resetting the system. You're kind of saying, you know what? Okay, I've learned this, I appreciate this, but what has gotten me here today is not going to get me there tomorrow. So therefore, I got to go back to the drawing board and relook at some things. Okay, so embrace that I don't know situation, embrace that scenario. So that way you can come out stronger on the other side. Boom. All right. Thank you everyone for listening to today's episode. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much and have a great day.